Alright, so this tutorial is going to go through the process of generating the component diagram, and then we're going to go ahead and insert that into one of the layout sheets to go ahead and get that page basically complete for the submission. Alright, so I've gone ahead and just a little bit of review. If you followed along in the other component stuff, we zoom in on here. We don't want to just take rendering straight out of SketchUp. They have a very, very low resolution and quality, and so we're not going to go ahead and mess with that too much. We're going to just go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and close this out. We're going to be taking these sort of line drawings and start to implement them on top of another rendering here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pull this up. Turned off my edges just like I did in the previous demo. I'll go ahead and export. I'm going to go ahead and export a 2D graphic as a JPEG, and we'll call this the component matrix. Go ahead and replace that. Alright, and we're going to hop into Illustrator. Control O to open. And then we're going to go ahead and open up our image there. Again, we're going to go ahead and utilize Live Trace to get this to have some nice edges. And we're going to go to, I like to select that first, image trace. We're going to make that. Drop this down, 16 colors. And starting to get a sense of how this is going to work. We're going to go ahead and expand that. Right click, ungroup. I'm going to go ahead and delete that background. I'm going to select these, and I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to go over to my component matrix, which I've exported out of SketchUp already. Hit Control V. And then I'm going to start to undo that. Before I paste this in, I'm going to generate a new layer. We'll manage those things well. Control V. And now if I hold Shift, it'll scale this proportionally. If I don't, then obviously it's going to get wonky. If I hold Alt, it'll scale from the center. So I can go ahead and scale that out and adjust it. I'm going to pull that layer down below. And now all we need to do is just massage this into place here. Okay. Alright, and so then we can come in here and get these guys each to sort of center on our graphics. And I'm going to go ahead and put together a different kind of visualization here than I did in the previous. So if I use V, I'm going to take my guy here and get him more or less centered. And then I'm going to come in and lock that layer and unlock the line work. I'm going to come in and utilizing each one of these guys. I'm going to select the boundary edges of this. And I'm going to go ahead and group those together. And I'm going to go ahead and create a nice pronounced edge on this. So that when with the rendering out of here, we'll get a really nice sort of component diagram out of that. And you can start to see how that starts to visualize and how the craft of that starts to read. Alright. This is going to be essentially how we're going to go through and set up each one of these guys. I'm just going to go through this quickly. And again, this is where it comes in handy, using a lot of different layers to separate your geometry. So we can do this very intelligently. Okay, you can see that we're getting a very nice aesthetic out of this for not a huge amount of effort. Oh, I missed that guy. We'll get him with the next one. And I missed these guys. essentially have our diagram set up here. I'm going to go ahead and get these actually align work centered on some of these so that actually looks appropriate, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit my artboards so that we actually include our shadows in this. And then there's some stuff we can crop out. We don't need all this white space. Okay. Alright, and so now we go like this. We are now ready to take this and export it. You know, file, save as, and one of the limitations of layout is that it doesn't actually take that, enable us to do that. I'm sorry, doesn't enable us to do anything other than import images. So we'll have to export this as a JPEG. We'll call this complete so we don't overwrite the old geometry. Never want to delete our raw materials. So we'll save that. We'll go CMYK, this is for print, maximum high resolution, right? And we hit OK. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and pop in the layout here. And this is where we can start to play around with this. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and create a new page. And this is going to end up being a diagram, so that's going to fall under our A6 category. So I'll go ahead and hit T to type. And I'm going to zoom in on this guy here. It says A. I'll hit Tab, and we'll call this 601. And I'm going to go ahead and change the font on this to AutoCAD font. And we're going to increase the size of this as well. Do something a little bit more bold here. And so I'll go ahead and grab that and place that in there. So now we know what we're looking at. So if I zoom out, we can go ahead and go to File, Insert. And I save that onto our desktop here. Grab our image. We can go ahead and insert that in there. So now we have our nice graphic. And we zoom in. Really nice high resolution image, and we've got one of our diagram pages set up. Now the next thing we need to do is we actually need to give each one of these guys a title, since each one of these corresponds to some function. And so we'll go ahead and type this in slide, and I'm going to go ahead and just essentially so we can come in here and label this. Let's go a little bit bigger. You can get the sense of how you're going to lay out this diagram. Okay, and that's it.